all that. For a start, it looks like a downsized version of the luxurious Infiniti G20, rather than some cheap econo box. Following the lead of some other makers, Nissan offers no hatchback version of this car, just 2- or 4-door sedans. In fact, I think hatchback Sentras bit the dust a couple of model years ago anyway. While styling is very tidy and attractive, it doesn't break any new ground. I suppose if I had one complaint, and it would be only one, I'd have to say that this car had a pretty anonymous shape and certainly won't turn any heads. But let's forget about that and comment on how the car feels. I liked this one as soon as I got behind the wheel. It has wonderful throttle response and surprising smoothness for its class. A few years ago there were BMWs that felt less refined than this little Sentra. Whichever Sentra trim level you go for, you get the same engine. A 1.6-litre 4-cylinder 16-valve unit developing 110 horsepower. It's a silky little motor and really gets the job done well, whether around town or on the highway. Our test car was equipped with a 5-speed manual gearbox, which again was as smooth as they come in this class. Options include, rather surprisingly, both 3- and 4-speed automatic transmissions, depending on which trim level you order. Fuel economy is a stingy 6.8 litres per 100 kilometres in all-around driving, but you can still zip up to 100 kilometres per hour in less than 10 seconds. Our XE test car was priced at $13,199, so this one won't put you in the poorhouse. The Sentra handled nicely without threatening the 240SX, but most drivers will have little to complain about here. Suspension is independent all round on this front-wheel drive car. Cockpit comfort is very good, and the seats are supportive without being too firm. I didn't like the fabric our car was trimmed in and thought it looked shiny and cheap. It'll probably wear as well as anything, but I did say you had to be picky to fault this car. Control layout is a real standout. Few cars have climate and sound system controls as easy to reach as the Sentra. You can almost get your fingers on them without letting go of the well-shaped steering wheel, which, by the way, tilts. All told, Nissan has done an excellent job with its new Sentra. It's unusually civilized for a car in this price bracket and even has a few sporty pretensions. Market rivals are numerous, but I'll mention a few of the obvious ones. There's the Toyota Corolla, Subaru Loyale, Hyundai Excel sedan, and Honda Civic sedan. In there too are the Mazda Protege and sedan versions of the Dodge Colt. Also worth scrutiny are the Chevy Cavalier, Ford Escort, Mercury Tracer, and VW Fox. Chrysler will sell you a Dodge Shadow or Plymouth Sundance, and there's also the Ford Tempo and Mercury Topaz. I've probably missed a few, but that's quite a shopping list to be going on with. Well, a little bland, but a thoroughly nice car, Ted.
I don't agree with you about that. I think this is a very good-looking car. It's not exciting, and it's not adventurous, but it's pleasing to the eye, and it's an economy sedan. It's also a very powerful little car. I cannot find any fault with it. I think I finally found when the car is too good for its own good. I mean, it really is a very good car. You know?
Well, I said you had to be picky, and that's why I picked the styling. It's a basic 3-box car. It looks a lot like the Stanza, which is a notch-up market from Nissan, and many other cars like the Corolla. I think they could have done something a little more exciting, but it's a very nice car.
Yeah, I want to just add something here, sort of butt in, but they have another model called the Sentra Classic. Now, what that is that's last year's version reintroduced with a lower price tag. You can get a Classic for under $9,000, made in Mexico, so people should be aware of that. But it's completely different from the one we're reviewing here today.
Because it seems to be a market that the Japanese companies are trying to leave behind, really, this lower-cost market. I'm inclined to say that I'm sad to see that happen, but it's inevitable. I think that Korea and Malaysia and other countries are going to be the source of low-cost cars. And you said Mexico, you said they're building the car?
Yeah, they're building the old version in Mexico.
Version,
Nissan's problem here is they make these wonderful cars, but they don't sell them. People are not buying this car in the quantities that Nissan had hoped, and I can't understand for the life of me why, because it's a very good car.
It's hard to say, because Nissan right now has probably one of the best ranges in the world. They have some wonderful cars, from the sports cars, the luxury cars, and so forth. I can only think it's one of those quirks of the marketplace that nobody can really explain, and that sooner or later they'll turn around and they'll become a very big player again. But they certainly have some good products.
We should tell people to get down and have a look at this one to compare, just for compare. Don't buy an Accord necessarily. Have a look at this one.
Absolutely, because it's moved up market. It's not the tin box that the old Sentra was. It's moved up market. It's very close to what an Accord was maybe a model ago. and especially if you order a few extras with it. So, to red light, green light. I didn't like the shiny cloth upholstery, and I thought the styling was a little bit bland, but that's being rather picky. On the plus side, a very refined car with an outstanding engine and a very fair price. As a result, I give it driving dollar value of 7/8 of a tank.
And we'll be right back.